Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Someone give me just confirmation you can hear. Cool. Okay. We have you, if you don't know my office setup, I have a big computer screen as my, or a big TV screen as my computer screen. So I can see all of your faces really big. So if I turn my head this way, that's why. Like you're not like a tiny little square, you're like big. So I can see you all. I love making eye contact when I talk. And that was originally why we moved to this TV in here and put it on my desk, which I don't even know if it's actually good for my eyes the more I think about that. But if you do not know me, first off, it's November 12th. It's 8 o'clock p.m. Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, and we are excited to be here. We are Kayla and Nate Troutman, and you're going to get to hear from both of us tonight. So whether you're a consultant tuning in or a consultant and a partner, somebody that supports a consultant, or you're catching this playback, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I'm just going to make sure. Yep. Okay, good. I want to make sure we are recording indeed, and I'll get this recording uploaded right away and shared with Dana, and then she can disperse that or ask me to disperse that however she wants so that you guys can share this with anybody that it would benefit. But we're going to tell you about ourselves in a second. So I'm not going to really talk about that very much. What I do want to say is that I love how many of you love that Dana offers such amazing training. So make sure next time you see her, you have the chance to thank her for just allowing different speakers and different presenters the chance to train and mentor, and also the opportunity for all of us to just learn from different people doing different things really strong. I feel really blessed to have found Dana this summer when Epicure announced their launch in the US. And Nate and I are both very thankful for her mentorship and her guidance and being a part of this team. So I just want to start the call out like that and let you guys know that we are from, I'm not used to talking for the both of us. We are from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And so we are newer United States consultant. I'm a consultant and I'm a senior director here at Epicure, reaching out for that executive director position next, and super excited to be a part of this company, be a part again of this team, and really bring you guys tonight some hopefully encouragement as a support person who offers support or maybe doesn't know how to support a consultant, and also give you a real life example of how this industry does work. And I think it's more powerful coming from my husband. So I'm going to stop talking here soon, I promise, if you're excited to hear from him. I just promised him that I would start us out because he is definitely, are you shy, Nate? Do you think you're shy?
I could be.
Yeah, he's definitely more shy than me. Now, when you talk, you have to talk a little bit louder so that it picks you up good. Okay. You can also tell in our relationship who the bossy one is. So clearly him, right? I want to take a second and just share. So again, I said that my name is Kayla, and our background together as a couple, I grew up in a small town here in Wisconsin. I did direct sales one other time early on in our relationship. We've been married for 10 years. And in our early days of dating, I did a home decor company. I sold for a home decor company. And Nate was really supportive then too. So it's really cool that we get to bring you this tonight, because it's not just that like he's been supportive here in Epicure. This is actually my third company. And we'll talk about that in our story. But we've been married for 10 years, like I said. And we have a little guy who we just put to bed. Also why we need wine tonight after bedtime. And so his name is Macaulay, and he's almost 4. And then we have our yellow lab Pfeiffer, and she's actually in here with us. So if you see something kind of moving, we don't have rats or any weird rodents in our house. It's our big, fat, hairy yellow lab. So that's a little bit about us. Our story in direct sales, and Nate loves to tell this part of the story to men because this is so common. So Nate, how does it usually go in direct sales?
So some of you might have got to hear me talk at 100 Million Reasons, and the thing I started off with was, how many of you have had your significant other come home and say, hey, I'm going to join this business? And we all give them the eye roll, like another one of these. Well, I was one of them at the beginning, but soon, within weeks, that mindset had changed, because we need to really pump up our significant other in order for them to be successful here. If we're not giving them the time and the resources to build a company like this, then we are already allowing them to fail before they can even get started.
So Nate, why do you think, so again, some of you consultants on this call are brand new consultants, and I'm so excited for you. So congratulations and welcome to the team. Some of you have been around, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I've been around 90 days or something like that. How long have we been with Epicure? Not that long, but it's still, no matter where you fit in that equation, how many times have we had someone in our lives, like you tell them about your business, brand new or otherwise, and they have like the eye roll, or they say, is that a pyramid scheme? That's one we hear all the time. Or, oh, is that one of those multi-level marketing? And so what Nate really thinks is key is that's normal. If you are a spouse or a support person or a partner watching this and that's how you felt, like he felt that way too. But here we are as top income earners in this company coming in pretty new. Again, we'll tell you a little bit of our background here and how we got to this place. But it's possible. You can do it, but you have to let the stigmas, like why does our industry have that bad reputation, do you think? Or why do so many people go home and ask their husband or wife if they can join this company, right? You went to an exciting cooking class, you're so pumped up, you're going to join, and then you go home and you tell your person who you think has your back, and they're like, "Oh, one of those." What do you think it is?
I think it's out of the norm. So um, to prove that it's out of the norm, we actually are currently refinancing our house right now, and it's been going on for about 3 months, which took us only a couple weeks. And I'll tell you why. The bank still doesn't see this industry as a normal job. So we had to actually go through hoops, prove like 10 years worth of income statements just to prove like this isn't a legitimate thing. We are making money. We are doing everything we need to be doing. It's just that the times haven't caught up with what the day and age is anymore. So it's a little bit of the norm, but as we go along within the next 10 years, this will be more of the norm than an actual traditional job is the norm nowadays.
Yeah, and so I guess this is a legitimate business, but Nate's right. I have never been so frustrated on the other side of an email. Like, lady, I would never say this, yes, but I just want you guys to hear how I was feeling. How many times can I show you paychecks that are more than, many people I know make in a month? And I have proof years back that I've been doing this with this industry. Why is it not relevant enough? And then that's when Nate and I were like, gosh, this is a great topic to talk to Dana about, because I think that's the biggest thing. So many people, this is Nate's famous thing he believes, so many people quit before they ever actually fail or find success in our job. So if you take nothing else away from this call, write that down. So many people quit before they ever fail or have success because they're either not supported or they feel like they're fighting an uphill battle all the time. So they never get a chance to prove that it's a real business. So we're going to walk you through why this is a legit business, our story first. We're going to quickly share some tips on how you can support a consultant in Epicure and make the most of being an Epicure consultant. And it goes both ways. There's things that the partner can do to support the consultant, and then there's things that the consultant can do to make the business a lot more legit for herself and not keep shooting herself in the foot. So we're going to talk, or him in the foot, and then we're going to open it up for questions. Does that sound good to everybody? Give me some head nods, those of you that are on. Dana looks so cute. Hey, Dana. Look at her in her little hat. It must be cold there. Oh, she was at the hockey rink, so that's probably why. Okay, so our story. So let's talk about what Nate said. I called him on the drive home from a food party a couple years ago. And I said, Nate, I was just at this food party and I made all these freezer meals and I'm so excited. And he was like, is this like a direct sales thing? I had done direct sales in college and I was successful with them. And I was like, yeah, it is. And he was like, okay, well, we're pretty busy. We were both very busy people. Everybody says that, right? Busy. Why don't you just come home and we'll talk about it? And like, I was like, no, let's talk about it quick on the phone. So I could join and I could do my own party and then I could take the hostess rewards and I could get the paycheck. And I mean, how many times have you guys heard that lingo, or we use that lingo in this industry, right? And he was like, okay, again, let's try a meal. How about we eat a meal first? So know that that's very normal as a consultant. If you're hearing that from someone that you're working with, that's a very normal partner response, is like, maybe we should try the food first. I mean, I get that you just made chicken fajitas at a cooking class, but I don't even know what this is yet. You haven't even brought a catalog home. So I came home, we tried the first meal, and he's like, okay, if you're going to use the product all the time, joining, for the discount and things would be worth it. So I did. Right from the start, I had my launch party, and you guys all know how we onboard reps very strong in this organization. I'm so thankful for Dana's leadership on that. So our consultants are having success just like we are right out of the gate with that first launch class. And I booked additional classes and I started doing them. And literally Nate's reaction was,
Well, her first initial class was 25 people, which is a lot. So after the first paycheck came in of over $1,000, it got light bulbs thinking, like, our goal here was to only actually make $250 a month to pay for a CrossFit membership that we were in 10 years ago, very adamantly 6 days a week and everything. So that was our first goal. So goal setting was the biggest thing that you can possibly have here. If you don't have a goal, you kind of really don't have a reason to keep going or to have motivation to do anything in a direct sales atmosphere.
Especially if you work already outside of the home. That's like really key. Nate always said that to me, like from the start, we're gonna have to have some kind of goal. Like, let's pay for CrossFit, because he realized when you're busy, it's so easy. And partner person, this is even more easy for you because your heart isn't tied to the company yet. You're not actually in the day to day. So if you guys don't have a goal in your house of what this is for, when things get hard or a hostess cancels, you'll just let it go. Whereas, because right away he's like, if you pay for CrossFit, that would be amazing for our finances. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And of course I exceeded it, because when you give me a goal, I'm gonna like kill that goal. That's just my personality, and I love that. So his reaction to that first paycheck was,
Oh wow! I mean, it was good. It proves that, hey, if you put your mind to it, there's money to be made here, and it just takes that time. And we say it time and time again, 30, 60, 90. What you do now doesn't affect you tomorrow, a week from now, 2 weeks from now. It affects you 60 days from now, 90 days from now. So if you put the work in now, you'll see it 2 or 3 months down the road. And that's what we try to tell a lot of our new team members is it's hard to get going, and we will help you with that. It's just once you can get going, that's where the significant other comes in, and you need the help from them to keep you moving along, keep chugging, keep helping that person out, and the motivation to keep them going, because it will come through at the end.
yeah. So what we wanted you guys to take away is the goals, like the small goal setting right from the start. So if you're a partner on this call, ask your consultant, like, what are we doing? What are we working towards as a family? And using language like we or together really has helped me stay motivated on the times when my entire month falls apart, or I'm falling short of my goal, or my next rank advancement feels impossible, or I'm working with a really difficult hostess. That happens, right? That happens to all of us. So we definitely had goals from the start. And a couple other key things. I think people see my business now and they can't picture themselves there, because you're so in the right, like where you're at. And that's normal too. We want to normalize that. I worked full time when I started direct sales, and I didn't plan on having children. And obviously we just told you we have an almost 4-year-old. We also didn't plan on living in our dream home. We were in a small little 900 square foot home. It was perfect for us as just a busy career focused couple. Everything can change at any given moment. So I encourage you just to be aware that, like, if we would have even had a conversation 5 years ago, would you have ever believed that we were both like, this is my true office. This is what I do day to day. This is my full-time job. And Nate's home with me most days.
Our 5 year ago conversation was to buy this house because it was double the mortgage from our previous house. So that was the next vision that we had. That was our next keep chugging along. What can we do? And then a couple of years later, we obviously had our son. And then I had thoughts of running through my head that I'm going to leave my job and go do something else, actually 5 years ago. And funny enough, Kayla is the one who got to leave her job because she literally came home the next day and said, I put in my resignation and we're going to just do this full time. So
can I pause for 1 second?
You know,
so in there, I had a launch party. I booked my next classes off of that. Okay. Then we continue to increase our goals, which meant I just stayed uber consistent. I want to give you these numbers in case this matters to you. I did 4 to 5 classes a month, and I shared the business opportunity with at least 1 to 2 people joining, which means I shared it with more people than that, obviously 10, 20, 30 people, like whoever I was meeting at my classes. And then I was doing some reaches outside of that because I knew I needed to sign about 1 to 2 a month. And why I needed to do that is I knew I wanted to be at leader level. That's where I felt like the compensation plan was the most worthwhile. And then as Nate shared, we just kept increasing our goal. We just kept increasing it. So we bought this house and I was easily paying for the additional mortgage, and we were continuing to pay for CrossFit. We were paying off debt, which felt awesome. If you're on this call, how many of you could use some debt reduction? Like, I'm sure for many of you, you're shaking your head like that's a huge thing, especially if you have college loans still or vehicle loans. So I just wanted to hit every bonus I could. I wanted to just, as long as I was already doing the work, that's the thing I want you to hear. You're already here. You're on the call tonight, or you're listening to the replay. You want this. You're investing this time. Put the time into staying the course, sticking with it, setting a goal for number of classes, and sharing the opportunity, and just do it. Be consistent. And I'll be honest, I got totally hooked on the financial difference it made for us. So then, like Nate said, I just got a wild hair one day and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this full time. I can totally do this. I had just had my son. It was a lot of commuting. I used to drive an hour each way for work. All of you mamas know if you breastfed or pumped, it was really chaotic. It was really busy. And I just wanted to be home with him. So I resigned and I went all in. And the only thing I truly changed, and Nate can vouch for this, I did 6 to 8 classes a month instead of being okay with 4 to 6. And I really worked hard to sponsor 3 to 4 people a month. I averaged at least 4,000, what would be QV in Epicure, and that is it. So it was like I was doing the same work really. And a secret in our industry, if you don't know this, and he and I talk about this all the time, the reason it's easier for me than it is for someone listening to this call possibly is I just stay consistent. So when I go out to do a class, my bag is packed. I'm not struggling looking for my stuff. I'm not feeling out of sync, or, oh my gosh, I didn't print the specials for tonight, or I don't know about that new change in price or the new ingredient list. I'm in it because I leave the house at least once a week, or I'm running an online party at least once a week. Obviously now at my level, 2 times a week is my goal. But stay consistent and just set those goals and go for them. That is how you build a business. There's no secret. Dana's not holding anything back. After 19 years, almost 20 years of success, she's telling you it's the basic principles that Epicure University teaches, that Amelia talks about when she goes live, which is so awesome to have a CEO that does that. It's the consistency that will grow your income, and it takes time.
And we all struggle from time to time because this month our recruiting's down a little bit. So on Sunday night, 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Saturday night.
I asked Kayla, I said, what are you doing on your phone? And she's just scrolling Instagram, doing something. I don't really know what it was.
I would never just scroll Instagram. He has no idea what
so
he's talking about.
I had asked her, I said, you need to make like 10 reaches in the next 5 minutes. And she said, give me 15. So she actually, about a half hour later, she had reached out to 16 people. So it's just as simple as that. 30 minutes laying in bed or something, just for your significant other to say, hey, did you hit 5 reaches today, 10 reaches? Like, let's find 5, 6 people that you haven't contacted in a while. Maybe they're for your classes that if you travel, sometimes we travel up to 3-4 hours to get to a class, that we try to think of who in that group of people is a good person that maybe to host another party if you need to get a party on the books, or to sign them as a recruit. Because to drive 4 hours, that's a lot of effort to put into that, where if you can sign somebody and have a team 4 hours away, even better.
Yeah, so Nate, so what we're going to roll into next. So it's a little bit about us. So I came into the last direct sales opportunity. I built it up. And when I think about now, just God's timing has been just perfect in the fact that that opportunity was no longer serving to my family, and Epicure was launching here in the United States. And it's been such a cool blessing because Epicure, the price point, the hostess plan, all the things are just better. I hope you guys know, anybody watching this call or listening to the replay, this company has it going on. They do everything intentional. Things are well thought out. So if you're a partner watching this, your consultant picked a solid company. The family that founded this company knows what they're doing, and the home office staff is, I just think, ethical and professional. I mean, Nate got to meet them. What did you think of everybody?
We met Buck and Brick and Amelia are all great at 100 Million Reasons. They have our back. They have been in the industry for years, longer than we have been, and they know what works, what doesn't work. They wouldn't have came here if they didn't have something to provide us. Mm-hmm. So just put your faith in the home office staff. We wouldn't have came here if we didn't think that there was something here for us.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that call to Dana. It was like, hey, I want to talk to you about Epicure, and I need to talk to you right now because I need to make sure that this is the right fit. And we're going to talk for like 5 hours. Okay, I didn't say that, but that's what it ended up sounding like. But I want you guys to hear that Nate was a big part of that deciding factor now, and he wouldn't have been years ago. We wouldn't have known. That's why we're doing this call, though, tonight. We want you to know that we asked all those hard questions, and we can reassure you, he knows the comp plan better than me. He understands it. If I have a compensation question, or if I'm not understanding something about qualifications or staying active or whatever, he just understands it so well. And that's not maybe where you're at tonight as you listen, but I want you to have the faith that he believes so much in Epicure, that's how engaged he is in this. And that's how much he believed from the second in Dana and this company and what we're doing. So, we want you to know that the best way to grow your business is to get consistent together in your home, whoever you live with, as a family, involve your kiddos. But we want you to ask yourself, do you realize the income potential or the growth potential you have if the consultant commits to building and the partner commits to supporting? It's like a night and day difference. I can do 30 times more with the same time because I'm supported, and let's talk about some of these things. So a couple tips, and we wanted to specifically cover these after sharing our story. Things like cleaning, cooking, bedtime, bath time, reading all the books. Who does that? Who reads 5 books and then it's like, one more, mama, one more. So we have a lot of that. One night a week or 2 nights a week at a cooking class. If a class cancels, going to the coffee shop. Those are things, those are ways that you can support each other. Delegate out, like every night of the week, consultant Susie is cooking meals, but on Thursdays she's off so that she has a class, she goes to the class. And if she doesn't, she's at a coffee shop working her business, because that's when you can do those 16 reaches that my husband's going to challenge you all to do at the end of this call at 8:30 at night on a whatever night it is. Things that you can, talk about. Sometimes in a household, you're both stretched, you're both working full-time jobs, you're raising these awesome kiddos, and you want to build this business now. Sometimes that means a cleaning lady. We did that. Sometimes that means what else have we done to delegate or get rid of things?
We've done a lot of things, and we realize not everybody's in the same position as we are, but we've been in your position.
Mhm.
So the funny thing was, Kayla was at a play date with another Epicure rep, and her husband asked Kayla, "Is Nate okay with you being the breadwinner?" Now, I don't have a problem with it because this year I got to kind of semi-retire. I had left my full-time career job to go work for a friend of ours, and I don't have that problem because why wouldn't I want to do something that I want to do? But not everybody has that mindset. So don't hold your significant other back
Mm.
because you're afraid that maybe they're going to make too much money, that you could be insecure about that. I mean, who wouldn't want 5, 10, $15,000 a month to go and do whatever they want to do, retire early,
Give
go
it to
on
a
that trip,
church. Yeah.
whatever it may be. So just some of the insecurities that the significant other might have, you have to let them go to allow your Epicure rep to be, I'm blanking on the word, to
To
actually,
thrive.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we divvy things out. It wasn't always perfect, yes, because in the beginning, again, let's back up. We worked full time. We both wanted to do CrossFit every day. We had a dog that had to get let out in between like our work shifts. And my husband, for the last 10 years, I should have shared why we were so passionate about direct sales in this vehicle. Once I got going, I realized the income potential was crazy good here, and it was flexible around my family. And my husband, for 10 years, Nate did swing shifts. I don't know if you all know what a swing shift is, so I'll explain it. I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but he would work 2 weeks on first shift, 2 weeks on second shift, 2 weeks on third shift. And for our family, that was no way to raise a little guy. It just wasn't fulfilling for me. It stole all the joy out of our marriage. I just didn't love it. But we did it for a season. And for 10 long years, we sacrificed, and he worked hard and I worked hard at both my jobs until I retired from one, obviously. And then I went full-time direct sales. And what I want you to hear in that is that sometimes a season is hard, but after the season's over, freedom. So in that really busy time when we were both doing lots of things, we delegated. We had a cleaning lady that came, and that sounds so dumb. And you might think, well, I'm trying to make money. Why would I spend it? It's so worth it. It's so worth it. It's one less thing on your plate to do. If your mother or mother-in-law or somebody offers to come over and help with the kiddos or take them out for ice cream or fold a load of laundry, it's okay to ask for help. You'll be able to repay them someday with something nice or do something special for them. That's what building a business does. It creates freedom. My mother-in-law, for Christmas, she asked for the steamer. I was like, you want a steamer? I'll get you 5 steamers. You've helped us so much build our Epicure business this summer since going live with childcare, because you have to realize in this process, the best way a support person can support is by realizing that you as a couple are not weak when you're working together. And it's also okay to love your job and support your consultant in this new gig, I guess I'll call it, for lack of a better word, business. But like I said, just I want to read them off one more time. Things that we've figured out. Some nights I don't do bedtime because my hour or 2 hours as they do bath and bed and books is better here. I'll get to play with Macaulay in the morning. So that's one thing. A mother's helper or a little bit of extra childcare in a week. So somebody's loving your kids and making projects and painting, and you're getting a couple hours of focused business building time can be huge. We delegate the cooking, or we do what Amelia and Epicure teaches. We cook one meal so we can repurpose that pulled pork or that pulled chicken. Today was a complete leftover day. Lunch and dinner were made before, and we just heated things up so we would be ready for tonight's call. So just planning ahead on things like that, cleaning, lawn care. Oh my gosh, I could go on and on and on.
Well, I'm now the cleaning lady, the lawn care supervisor, and all the above. But
Yes,
I
you're looking
also
at him.
enjoy a lot of that stuff.
Yes,
So.
and he's fantastic at cleaning. Yes, he's the best cleaning lady I ever had. Um, but another way that you can support, it's not just that stuff. There's lots of ways. So support person who's on here with us. Ask your consultant how their class went. Ask them how their team meeting went. Ask them if they're shooting for a goal right now. Ask them what they're working on and they're excited about. Ask them why this matters to them. Maybe it's not financial for your family. Let's back up that train. It is for us, but not all of it. I want to see at least 10 consultants from my organization earn the incentive trip this year. That has us so fired up. Let me show you how fired up. This is the trip tracker for the trip, and these circles are my consultants' name that are in the top running, and I'm coloring them in as they earn the incentive trip. Like whatever it is, Nate knows that though. He knows this year something that isn't going to motivate me is asking me how many trip points I have. But what does motivate me is asking me how close my consultants are. So he cheers for them too, and he's watching with me. So sometimes it's just like having your support person care about what's going on in your business. Knowing what their current goals are and knowing where they're at with them each month is really important. And one step further, our best advice, our businesses and our lives changed when we started this tradition, and we have to share it on this call. Create a family vision board. I definitely think you need a personal one for your business. I know Dana's working on an event in the Nicholson Global Organization page that'll talk about vision boards and creating a new one. I think some of the amazing leaders as a part of her leadership team have already done some trainings on vision boards. It's important as a consultant to have a vision board for yourself. And I do have one here in my office. But it's really important. We sat down and we created our 2019 vision board. And we just checked off our last item of the year, which was something really personal to us and something we've been putting off for too long, and we're working really hard on that. And so we're excited to start next year's vision board, and we're already talking, let's get a hot tub. And that sounds really dumb, but I've wanted a hot tub for so long. I don't have a bathtub in our master bath, and in order to do that, it would involve knocking out walls and stuff, and we're both like, yeah, it's not worth it. But a hot tub, we can totally get on board with, and everybody can come over to the Troutman house if you're ever in Wisconsin and come to a hot tub party. That motivates me. So we put things on there that motivate both of us. If he really wants an ice fishing shanty or something, I'm like, okay, tell me more about that. Are you going to take Macaulay ice fishing? Because then I can totally get more excited about it. So we talk about things we want. And sometimes they're not fun things. Sometimes it's you got to pay off 2 credit cards or 3 credit cards. I have a team leader out of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, who put 4 credit cards on her vision board last year, a picture of 4 credit cards. And as she paid off each one with her income over the course of the year, she crossed them off. Do you know how powerful that is? She's more motivated to go out and work the business, and her support person is seeing the results. So really dreaming together and coming up with goals and a vision board is huge. And if you have kiddos that understand, Macaulay's a wee bit little, we have him participate, we let him cut and glue, but he doesn't really understand what's going on. But we've always included him and he hears us talk about dreams and goals at least once a month. We kind of have like a family business meeting. But what we want you to take away is like sometimes for you, your kiddos might just not understand the discipline it takes to build a business. So have a 30-minute jar. Every time your kids let you work during a work session for 30 minutes uninterrupted, you put $1 in that jar. Or you put, it could be a marble. And when the jar's full, you're doing X. You're going to the water park for a weekend, or you're doing ice cream. I mean, when they're little, like Macaulay's age, he thinks going to Starbucks and that's a Canadian thing too, right? Have I asked this? Is there Starbucks in Canada? Okay, Dana's saying yes. He thinks going to Starbucks and getting a cake pop is like the best thing. So right now I can get away with very little, cost out of pocket, but meaning the more that you get to plug in and your kids understand the vision too, the more it becomes like a family thing, and then everybody's supporting everyone. So did I miss anything in that? I did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then consultants, your part in this. Nate used to tell me all the time, it's hard to support you when you tell me how much you love the business, and then you're telling me how bad something went, or how frustrated you are with something, or how somebody canceled on you. that's just natural in the business. And I'm wanting to support you. But you also kind of, he would say, you have to buck up a little bit, honey. Like, you're going to have to get a little bit thicker skin. You didn't do anything wrong. Like, I would want to hash it out loud what just happened to me. And that's really hard for a support person to understand, because in their mind, they're like, just find a new class or just talk to somebody else about the business. Or if that team member doesn't want to do it anymore, like, she doesn't have to do it, right? And have any of you ever done that? Like, you're really excited about it, but then as soon as something goes wrong, like, your person in your home or your people are probably the most likely candidates for hearing about that. Don't do that. Also, don't tell your significant other or family, kids, that you're working your business and scroll Facebook or social media or do other non-income producing things. I personally feel like that's such a smack in the face when you're trying to work together as a team to really build this, and you're setting goals and you're setting an action plan, and then you say, I'm working, and really you're just like I was Saturday night. Now, granted, I hadn't said I was working. He just caught me being.
You can tell because their fingers not going like this, swiping. That's just scrolling instead of typing. So there, you can tell.
Okay, thank you, Nate. Thank you for that. Thanks for letting me know how you know what I'm doing. But why I say that is I think it goes both ways. You know, you have to show up to your business and be excited and be professional, and then that partner role gets a lot easier because they want to support you and they believe in it. So also, trusting your partner. If you're watching this and you're a support person and you work pretty normal hours, maybe you're watching this and you're not married, or you're engaged and or you're dating and you don't have children yet, or your children, you might be in an encore career here and you might not have kids in the house anymore. If you can help in other ways, my advice to the consultant is to let go of the reins a little bit and trust help. This is really hard, whether it's grandma coming over and doing bedtime and you thinking while you're in the office, did she read the right books? Did she tuck him in right? Does he have the right pair of socks on? I get it. I was there in my early days of building my business. You have to let go of control a little bit. Something I always say is, Nate, did you make the bed? He knows I really want the bed made. He does not make the bed like I would make the bed. But guess what? The bed is made. The comforter's up. The pillows are off the floor. The bed is made. And that's good enough. At our house, we focus on done over perfection. And we focus on laughter and joy over worry, because it doesn't do anything. So if you have a support person who's really good at spreadsheets, let them track your business expenses for you. Duh, no brainer. Like, I'm sorry to say that's so harsh, but like, easy peasy. If you have a support person that is like, he's fantastic at lawn maintenance and he enjoys it. He also loves to grill. There's weeks that if it's warm out, we're grilling all week because that's perfect. It's one less thing on my plate, and I can marinate, in the Epicure seasoning all day, and he can throw stuff on the grill, and it's so easy. So like, figure out what your support person could do to help you. Play on each other's strengths, but you have to let go of the reins. Someone said to me, I don't know how you let Nate like log into your back office and like check trip points. And I'm thinking, well, what's he going to do? Like, he's on my same team. I have to learn to let go of some of that and let him check numbers, or let him get excited when he sees orders rolling in or whatever it is. So just wanted to mention that too, because some spouses are really social media savvy, or some partners, let them schedule some posts for you. Like, if that's something, instead of hiring an assistant, and you can talk to Dana or your upline leader about what is the right fit for you on all of this. But I just really think that's a huge thing. Letting go of control in a family business is huge, so you don't choke each other. That's a true thing. Testing to see who's still listening. Okay, good. A couple of you smiled. Not all of you, but some of you. Okay. Anything I missed there?
No.
Okay, so basically, we do not like get to this place overnight. We actually get along really well, and we work really well together during the day. And he sees my weaknesses and helps push me. But we also know that it's going to take you some time. So just going back before we open it up to questions, and I want to let you guys ask questions if you have them, because I think that could be really powerful too. When you think of your business, what do you want your business to look like in 2020? Write down right now that your biggest takeaway from this call should be vision setting as a family and individual vision setting for yourself. So a vision board or a goal board for you, and a family one. And what can you do together to try and find consistency and support? And that, again, it goes all ways. It's not just, this is not a, hey, dads, I'm going to pick on that specifically. In my case, watch the kids. So again, I can say I'm working and I'm running in the office, but really having a plan that you're going to build your business, what your goals are. And then if you need help, go to your upline leader and work it backwards and say, we want to make this much as a family, and this is what we want to do with that money. I think I need to do this many classes and share the opportunity with this many people, but can you confirm that? Can you help me talk through this? And I know your upline or Dana or whoever would love to help you do that.
And track that. You might not hit that number the first month, but if your goal is what's worth it here to be here, is it $1,000 a month? Is it $10,000 a month? Keep track of that so that you know how you're doing. You will fall short. We've fallen short. We still fall short, but the goal is you got to keep moving, and that's where the support comes in. So just have a number in your head, and that makes it worth being here. Because if you don't, it goes back to before. Do you have a why to be here? Do you have a reason to be here? What's your goal in being here to do?
Love it. Anything else?
Nope.
Fantastic job. High five. Okay. So now we want to know, I don't know yeah, Lauren, who are you? I love you. You are so animated on this call. I just keep looking at you. I love eye contact and I love to talk to people and you're awesome. But I think
she's been on the screen the whole time.
Yeah, and I think your husband or someone, is that your husband hiding off to the side? That's been very funny to watch. Okay. Awesome. I love it. There he is. Okay. Hey, husband. That's like fantastic. You've been so fun to watch this whole time. Okay. We would like to open it up though. Does anybody have a question for Nate? If you want to pick Nate's brain, I will not talk. I will just not answer, which is hard for me. Or do you have a question for the both of us? We would love to answer if we can help somebody else get on the right track, either financially with goal setting or just how we got to this place. You have to P.S. I should have said this. You have to unmute because I had muted everybody. I'm going to give it a second. And don't be shy if there's something we can answer. Hey, Tina. One of the things I was messaged was specifically ahead of time. One of my team members and actually another senior director messaged and asked about that. Like, how have I let go of some of the control and how do I stay focused on a coaching call with a team member when I can hear Macaulay and Nate screaming through the house? And one of my tips on that is just trust. We really have we've worked together and Nate realizes if I'm in here, I'm not, I guess I like the word dinking around. Like I'm not playing around, like I'm building my business, or he trusts that I'm going to come out and participate in family activities. And I trust that when Nate's with Macaulay, he's not going to like let him put his hand on a hot stovetop or something. Like they're playing. And that goes as well if you're going to, like have an assistant help you or have your support person help you in any way in the office or otherwise. Done is awesome. Don't try not to get stressed out about perfection. I mean, obviously there's some things that have to be detailed, like balancing a checkbook and paying the bills, kind of important. But if you're doing, that's why I don't do it. That's why he does that. But if you're doing other things, like again, tracking receipts or gosh, I can think of so many things like stickering catalogs and stuff like that. Like if you guys are putting a sticker on your catalogs and your samples and things, so your information is on there, or stamping them, that's stuff that a kiddo can do and they learn responsibility, or your support person. And so just note, like you have to have some trust in that. So, yeah. Anybody have any questions? You can type them in. If you don't want to say them out loud because you don't want to come on camera or you don't want to unmute, you can type them in the chat too. I'm trying to think. There was one more thing that was messaged to me. I can't remember now. I'll try to think of it. Anyone? I feel like we couldn't have done that thorough of a job. I mean, maybe we'll just give ourselves extra high fives. Tina's smiling.
I just want to say this was amazing, Kayla, and thank you, Nate, for putting this together and sharing with everybody. For me, I absolutely love that you talk about your business as a family business, as a we. I think that is so important. And when you're both on board and also have a vision for your business, that is super huge. I love what Nate said about not having an issue with you being the breadwinner, Kayla. And, you know, my situation where my husband retired, gosh, probably, it's been 5 years now. He's been retired. So he absolutely has no issue. He's like, you go, girl. Though knowing that not everybody is wired that way, and that there can be feelings and hesitations around that. So I love that you touched on that. The other thing that I really liked is that what I heard was attract number grows. Because when you have a goal and when you track that, even if you hit it, when it's being tracked, it will grow, attract number. You need to know where you're going. So many nuggets. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, our pleasure. Thank you, Dana. Yeah, we just are huge on goals. Hey, Krista, I see you there. And Leah, I'm going to answer Leah Klein's question. I'll read it. She typed, and I'm going to let Nate answer it. Did Nate's level of support change at some point? Question mark. If so, what was the turning point? Question mark.
I would say at some point, yes. I would say in the last 5 years, it's probably doubled. Not that I was never supportive.
No, you're always.
It's just now once it turned to being her sole income or her full-time job, it definitely increased more. And that the support is different depending upon how you look at it. It's not only, you know, how are things going, how's this doing, what does your calendar look like? It's more or less doing the laundry, mowing the lawn, taking care of the kids. It's all that stuff that's actually more probably supportive than the business aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things people ask me all the time is, how did I get Nate to support me? And I think two things mainly. Number one, I think there's so much proof in numbers. Dana and the company has the process in place. Just do it. Like, I don't want to make it sound so simple, but it is so simple. Just do the new consultant training Facebook group that Dana has, where you click the little button as you do each step, and do the new consultant training call that we ask all new consultants to get on. And PS, if you're not new and you're getting on this call and it's been a while, just pretend you're new again. And we totally want to help you. Reach out to your upline leader and just pretend you're new again. I've had to do that in different seasons of my business. And PS, I was a successful senior director somewhere else and had to restart this summer. And I treated it like I was brand new and never did direct sales. And that was so important to have that mentality. Just follow the steps. And what we're seeing in our organization, I'm going to speak for the Troutman organization, who's growing like crazy. We are seeing that the simple steps work. So why I'm saying this is, when you do it that way, you allow your partner to see you really having success from the start, because it's almost given you will, or your upline will be able to help you. If we know that you did what Dana and Nate are saying, if you track what you actually do and don't do, then we can help you analyze what's working and not, and fix it. If we get on a coaching call with you and we're like, hey, did you do this, this, and this? And you're like, no, it's the first I've opened my laptop in a month. We're like, well, we have a couple problems going on. So, and not to be funny about that, but like, really, I just ask you to follow those simple steps. So I did that. So that's number one, I think, why he believed. I had how many people come to my launch party. And then from there, I booked, this is the thing, I booked my next classes off my class. So I wasn't like scrounging, scraping. He wasn't hearing me on a coaching call with my upline. He was seeing me get a letter in the mail from her thanking me for my success. He was seeing me be recognized on social media for my success. And he was like, dude, and then he saw the paycheck. And he's like, there's something to this. You more than paid for CrossFit. Like, let's keep this going if you can. He was very supportive. And we played with numbers, you guys, too. Sometimes he's not saying this, but there were times when he was on like a night shift and I would be like talking on the phone, doing calls or something. And it wasn't always perfect. Like, he was beating on the wall telling me to shut up. Like, I mean, it is still hard to, live different schedules, or many of you, again, working full time. Like, let's not downplay that. But what we're saying is, again, in any season, you might, balance is a lie. I use this bike analogy, and I've used it a couple times this week with a few of my team members. You're riding a bike, and at any given moment, you might be turning left or right, and you lean on a bike. But as long as you keep pedaling, you don't tip over. That's how this business has looked. Sometimes I'm leaning way further right. Sometimes I'm leaning way further left. But I always come back upright, and I'm still pedaling. If you stay lean, obviously that's burnout. You're going in a circle. You're never going to get anywhere because you're just leaning and you're spinning, literally. And so we just have found that in some seasons, Nate's night shift took over and I didn't do any parties or classes during that time, and vice versa. There's been times right now where he has been a rock star around here so that I can run with this business and get it off the ground the way that I want to towards my goals. So just the question is, Leah, not every person is going to support an entrepreneur right away. It just is what it is. And I don't want to say prove it to them because that's not the right motivation. You need to have real reasons to work this business. But if you show up, and you have success, I think success sells itself. And for most people, the turning point, I think, is a moment of success, whether that's income or whether that's something else, a free vacation.
I was going to say, if all else fails, take them on the free vacation you can earn. Because if that can't flip them, then we might just never be able to flip them.
Yep.
But we've been on some great vacations so far. And let me tell you, once you get on that airplane, you don't have to pay for nothing. It's the best feeling in the world. And you meet some amazing people along the way.
Yeah, some of my best friends have come from this industry, and I'm so excited to be going on the first Epicure and United States trip together and to get to spend time with Dana and our entire team. It's just going to be awesome. So, Leah, I definitely think that too. And Leah, you've been in the industry a long time. So if you're still listening, I would love to hear from you at some point. Maybe you can share it wherever Dana shares this recording in the comments. If you can't unmute tonight, but I'm curious. I met Leah actually and her husband for the first time on an incentive trip, and we were asked to go down and welcome the newcomers, the first timers, and we did. It was Jamaica. Yep. And it was one of our favorite trips, and we had so much fun. And that's so cool now that we're in the next arena together. And I just think that Nate's right. I think a lot of spouses, you get it once you see the entrepreneurs. And yeah, I could go on and on about like when your support changed, but over time, I mean, I think one of the coolest realizations we've had over the last couple of years is we can go to Mexico. We go every single year. We take Macaulay. How many families can do that? Just take their family every year on a trip, a place that we love. We call it home, and we go home every February or March. And when I'm there, I love my job. So I get up in the morning and I work for an hour from the balcony, and he'll bring out coffee once he gets up with Macaulay. We go to the pool all day, and he sees I can earn income from anywhere. This is truly the best job. And there are hard moments. If you're a support person listening to this, or you're a partner and you're like, yeah, that's you. No, buddy, let me tell you a story. Like, I had literally 17 cents in my checkbook in college. Like, I was broke as a joke, like everybody else. I got a degree that I had no idea what I was going to do with. But if you give me a plan and you give me a chance to prove it, like, I will do it. And I just want all of you to know, if you're listening to this call, like, you can do it. This business, and you can do it and still love your full-time job. You can do it and retire somebody who doesn't, or give them the opportunity. What Nate really wanted was the flexibility in life to go find something he's passionate about, like I am, and do that. We're still really young. And then we can talk about another baby if that's what we want, or we can talk about more dogs or whatever it is. But working in the career he had for 10 years, we couldn't. So if that's how you're feeling stuck, you can use Epicure as your vehicle to get unstuck. You just have to set a plan and do it. But your story doesn't have to be like home full time. Your story just can be that you want to earn a free check, or you want to earn enough to do something big for your family, or you just love leadership. And in your current role, you do not get to lead or mentor or inspire. This is an awesome place that you get to be a social influencer and teach people in the cooking class setting, and teach people virtually, and mentor a team. So if any of that speaks to you, like, that's what this industry is about. So any other questions? And Chris, I saw your comment. I'm pretending to be new again. And I love that for anybody else that's on. This call is not for anybody specific. Like, you don't need to be at leadership level. You can have signed up yesterday, and this is perfect. Anyone else? No? You're so welcome, Dana. Thank you. I'll upload the recording, and if anybody has questions, you can ask them once the recording is shared in that thread, and we're happy to help or process them, streamline them to your upline leader, and we'll get you the answers. But I guess our closing message, well, I want to know from Nate, not from me. Nate, what's your closing final thoughts?
Support comes in many ways, shapes, forms. There's no one specific answer to that. It's different levels based on what's going on in our lives at that time. And just giving any support is better than no support. And that's what I would have to say. Any support is better than no support, because at least if they know you got we have their back, then there shouldn't be any issues. So
Yeah, and regardless of timeline, I think I want to just add that as my last thought. Some people's businesses explode quick. Awesome. Cool for them. And some people's businesses, it takes longer. They have a smaller contact list, or maybe they've been more private on social media and they have no following, and it's scary for them to even think about going live. Where for me, I got my Epicure kit and I wanted to go live like 30 seconds later. Everybody's different. That doesn't make you successful or not. It's the willingness to dig deep and keep going. Again, just keep pedaling your bike is what I want to remind you to do. And that it's okay if things aren't perfectly balanced all the time. But if you are a partner watching this, the support is truly the difference. I say this all the time. Just knowing that Nate cared that I had a party or a class after my full-time job, and that was a lot on me to go to work all day, drive an hour there, I had a long commute, and then maybe go another hour a different direction, and then home, and then go to work the next day. His support was everything, because it made me feel successful when I went to bed. Oh, I'm going to cry. It just made me feel successful when I went to bed at night. Like, I worked really hard to get to this place, but I love it. And every single second will be worth it. That's the message I want to leave you with. Like, don't quit before you have the success you're looking for, or before you truly fail. Just support each other. And again, I think the biggest thing is that 2020 is coming. Set your goals for December, and then what you want to do in 2020 as a whole for your family and for your business. It'll be life-changing, I promise. So yeah, that's my closing thoughts. Okay, I will end this and I'll get the recording uploaded. Thank you all so much for coming on again. This is huge because you're investing in your business, and my blessings to you on this night. I hope that you go forward and rock out November, hit all of your goals, and just bring it home here at the end of the year, and then set your sights on what you want to accomplish in 2020. And thank you for all the notes, you guys, all the kind words. Chantel, I can't wait to get to know you more. You have such a fun personality, and to all of you. So, and Christy, it's fun to see your name. I know you. I love it when I know a Canadian. I feel so cool. Okay. Bye, friends. Have a good night.